Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, and this is part of my series. So check the link within this video's description. You can find where to order all these components online, but within this part of the video series, what I'm going to do is actually configure the Zenmuse H3-3D Gimbal, which came as part of the Phantom 2 version 2 with Zenmuse H3-3D Gimbal bundle that you can find within this video's description. The first step of this process, and you need to be really careful because this ribbon right here, if you break that, you've pretty much destroyed your gimbal. So what you need to do, and I cannot emphasize how carefully you must proceed here. What you're going to do, very, very carefully, and I mean extremely carefully, grab that tape and gently detach that tape from the back. That's going to cause this cable to come up. You can see there. Now there's tape on the back of that cable, so what you're going to have to do now is gently remove that tape from that cable. I mean, just go slow and be gentle. There you go. So that tape has been removed. This is in 4K ultra high definition. If you have a compatible display, you can really see this video in its full detail. The next step, looking at the items that came with your Zenmuse H3-3D Gimbal, you're going to want to get this out. And the item you need for this is this little bitty board right here, see? And it's got that thing that plugs into the USB on the side of your GoPro. In my case, I'm using GoPro Hero 4 Black. So what you're going to want to do, and again, I cannot emphasize how gently you need to proceed with this. Let me get this other piece out of the way here. You need to, there's a little bitty, if you look at this, you'll see a little bitty black tab that pops up. You're going to want to pop that up so it'll allow the cable to, the ribbon rather, to insert into that yellow side. So gently stretch, not stretch, but gently push down on this ribbon. And you're going to see the, and let me double check the orientation here, hold on. So when you slide this, when you gently press down on this cable, you will see one side is a gold color. The gold color is going to insert into this facing up towards this little silver USB piece, okay? So with USB piece facing up, I'm going to insert the ribbon with the gold color also facing up. This is a very precise process. You're going to make sure it's in straight. You don't want to pull on this cable. Make sure it's in straight and it's even. Once you're convinced that it is, push down on that black piece that you pushed up on earlier, and that'll cause the ribbon to be secured in there. So now the ribbon is secured to this adapter. That's the very stressful part right there. The next part, and make sure you've already got your memory card and your charged battery in your GoPro. The next part is to sit the GoPro on this piece right here. This is the easy part. So just sit it on there. And then once it's sitting there, what you can then do, oops, turn my GoPro on. So once it's sitting there, all you do next is you get this little bracket piece. So that piece right there. And you simply push it or put it over the top of your GoPro. Then you get these screws that are labeled M2 5x6 0.3. There's going to be one screw at the top and one screw at the bottom. Keep these somewhere handy in case you lose one of these. So looking at the heads of these screws, you'll notice that they're, let me see if that's the tool, you know, the tool that came with the Phantom 2 in that silver bag. Yep, so this is the silver bag that came with the Phantom 2, and inside of it, you've got this little hex key. And let's see if it fits. Yep, so it fits. These are the same size. They seem to be the same size as what attached the motors. If you watch my previous video where I did the prop guard installation, this was the same tool that I used for that. So you just gently screw that in, and then there's one on the other side too. And you don't want to over tighten, but you do want it to be snug because any sort of wobble of your GoPro could degrade the video quality. Okay, so that's in there plenty tight. The final step is gently to touch this ribbon and gently push it in so that it touches your, so that it inserts into the little USB port on the side of your GoPro. So that's it. That's got your GoPro mounted into the Zenmuse H3-3D gimbal. So now let's proceed with mounting the gimbal to the Phantom 2 version 2.0. And again, you can find all of these products within this video's description. I'm just using the Zenmuse H3-3D gimbal that came with this Phantom 2 version 2 over here. So let's mount it to the bottom. Okay, so now what we're going to do is actually attach the mount to the bottom of the Phantom 2 that the gimbal is going to attach to. But before we do, you can see how this cable is taped to the Phantom. Just gently untape that. You may want to save that tape because later on we may use it to neatly secure all of this. So just gently untape that and throw that to the side. What you're going to want to look at here, this is the side that the battery's on, where the battery would insert. And what you're going to want to do is grab this piece right here. And when you look at it, you're going to notice there's two holes that kind of protrude right there. Those are going to go towards the front of the Phantom. So the front being the opposite end of the battery. But before we position this here and screw it in, so you know, check your position, make sure it lines up, and make sure that, again, that this is facing that these holes line up facing the front of the Phantom. So the opposite side of the Phantom from what the battery's on. Then you're going to get these securing pins, these little clear plastic things. I don't know how well they show up within this video, but you're only going to use two of these. So I'm going to lift this up so you can see exactly where I'm putting them. I'm putting it one in this corner, and then I'm putting one in this corner with the securing pins in there. Then I'm going to line this back up, and I'm actually going to screw it in. So again, battery side, front side. I've got a securing pin in this one and a securing pin in that one. you do not want securing pins in all four. You only want it in those two positions. Now what I'm going to use are these M3x5 screws. And these are actually a Phillips head. So if you look at them, you can, and actually the Phantom 2, it came with this screwdriver, so I'm going to use it. Gently put your screw in the hole. Make sure your securing pins don't fall out. And just gently put each one in. I wouldn't do them all at a time. Probably best to do opposing corners here. Just gently put them in until you make sure that they all line up, and then you can tighten a little bit more. Okay, now I've got all four, so I'm going to go back and gently tighten. You don't want to over tighten to crack plastic or anything like that, but you want it tight enough to where there's no, there's no wobble. Okay, so now with that there, we're now ready to do the gimbal. So you'll notice, this is where I'm going to line things up. If you look at that hole placement on the bottom, it'll give you a clue how it will connect. So these that are, let's see. So you see how I've got it now? And the camera, obviously the camera is facing towards the front. So the camera is facing the opposite side of where the battery is. What I'm going to do now, these little cups, you just gently need to squeeze so that the it may be easier to do the ones with the little locker things first. So let's do those first. This is easy, it's just a little, a little process. Just grab on it till it comes through. That one came through. Now we're going to do the opposing corner, the other one with the locker. Now these locking things are important because they better prevent the GoPro from falling off of the Phantom 2. But they also don't hamper the dampening capabilities of it. So again, these are just very soft filling rubber type pieces. So you just kind of get your finger and move it around until you get it to where it pops up. See, now that's in there completely. And now that I've done the locking corners, I'm going to do the other corners that don't have the locks. So that one's done. I'm doing this one over here. So now all four of those are in there. Now there's one step remaining, and that's taking this bag of the two corners where we had the lockers. We're then going to put this little piece on here. And I've got 4K Ultra HD that I'm filming this in, so if you've got a 4K display, crank it up and you can see in more detail. But that's one of the pieces. You're going to need one for each. And obviously this bag has spares, so hold on to this. Keep it safe with your extra screws and stuff. So basically what you'll do is you will push this locking piece, but you don't want to go down too far. So if you push up on the piece, you'll see there's a ridge. You only want this to go over the first ridge. So just gently push until it snaps. And then that's it. You don't want to push it down further because that'll degrade your video quality. And just so you know how I did that, it's hard to see this in the video, I bet, because it is so small. There's a flat side, and then there's a side that's kind of got like sticking up. The side with the sticking up is what I face up towards us. So again, just to demonstrate on this one, I just push down until it snaps. That's it, just the first position. You don't want to push down further because that's going to that would mess with the dampening properties of this gimbal. And that's the whole thing a gimbal's for, is to create silky smooth video, and that's it. I mean, you've got your gimbal mounted on there now. Now there are some additional steps, and we're about to go into that. There's this piece right here, which is the anti-interference board. And it's also got some double-sided tape here. You could, if you wanted to mount this on the inside, you could. But to keep this installation as simplistic as possible, I'm going to mount it on the outside. So you have double-sided tape for mounting it. It's in there with that. So what you're going to do is, now keep in mind, I'm going to rig this for FPV, first-person view. So taking that into consideration, I need to be aware of where I'm going to place this. So the next video is where I'm actually mounting the FPV gear. So I'm mounting the DJI FPV gear. So if you weren't doing FPV gear, what you may want to do is just put this piece with the double-sided tape, put it right there. That would probably be optimal. And then obviously after you do that, you're going to connect these cables here. So we've got, let's see, this is going to go into one side of it, this piece that's hanging down from inside the Phantom. And then the other piece is going to plug in. So this piece right here that came with it, this is going to plug into your top of your gimbal. So if you look on the back of your gimbal there, there's a little plug right there. So this would plug into that, and then this would plug. Let me see which side this plugs into. Now I'll show. So that the side that the gimbal is going into is that side there. So see, again, just as a point of reference, see how this part kind of dips in. So it's the one on this side, and then the other side, this cable right here that's sticking out of your Phantom, it'll plug into that. Now I'm not going to connect that yet because I am wiring this for FPV, first person view. So in addition to my gimbal and my anti-interference board, I will also have some other equipment down here for the video transmission. So for that reason, I'm not going to complete this video, but if you were just installing the gimbal without FPV, that's what you would do. You would then connect this cable coming out into that, and then using this double-sided tape that came with it, you would simply position this somewhere neatly underneath the craft, and that's it. So the H3-3D gimbal installation is really simple, and I hope this video is of value. Again, this is part of a series because I'm building this to be FPV capable, and it's just one of the many steps as part of the build. But I wanted to share with you as I do it so you can see how easy this is. You may have been afraid to attempt this on your own, But if you're like me, you needed 4K Ultra HD video from the air. And this, without a doubt, is the most reliable and budget conscious 4K video solution in my opinion. So I'm just looking this over again, make sure I didn't forget anything. I mean, that's it. Very simple process. So be sure to subscribe, share with others, youtube.com/IrixGuy. And check the link within this video's description. You can find all of the everything that I was using. You can find within the link within this video's description. So that's it. Very simple and kind of a fun project too. Y'all have a good day. And just in case everyone was wondering, because I don't like to leave a video to where it looks like it wasn't actually completed. Obviously this anti-interference board would be mounted using the two-sided tape to the bottom of your Phantom 2. But what I want to do, just in a temporary scenario here with it like it is, I'm going to power it on so you can see what the gimbal does. So you can see the gimbal doing this little power on self-test. So there you have it. That's how to wire up an H3-3D gimbal to the Phantom 2, and in this case this was the Phantom 2 version 2.0. So check the link within this video's description. You can find everything that I'm using. If you have questions, drop me a line by way of IrixGuy.com and I'll be happy to answer. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.